Hey guys, it's your girl Onana, and I welcome you all to Onana Nation. So if it is your first time on this channel, a very special welcome to you. Please go ahead and subscribe because you are definitely going to love it here. On this channel, we talk all things entertainment, we talk about African recipes, and we do lifestyle. So please go ahead and subscribe and become a part of this amazing family as we dive into today's topic. Alright, so today we're actually going to be doing updates on the Vanessa case. You may have heard about this case because it's all over Facebook, it's all over Instagram. The case involves a young girl called Vanessa Kim, who is a singer in a certain ministry, and she went to visit her woman of God, and the woman of God poured hot water on her because the woman of God claims Vanessa is sleeping with her husband. So when this case first of all happened on the 25th of December, the version of the story which we have was the version Vanessa told us. Vanessa spoke to Mimi Mefo Info, and she told Mimi, like, this is what happened. This woman poured water on my body. She wanted to kill me because she thinks I'm sleeping with her husband. So that's the first version of the story, and I reported here on my channel, and I told you guys it was a developing story. You know, every time we have new pieces to the story, I'm going to come back and update you guys. So today we have the woman's own version. She spoke to somebody on Instagram, on WhatsApp, and on Facebook, and then they shared the screenshots on Facebook. So that's what I'm going to be reading today, and I'm equally going to project this on my screen so we can read with each other. So the woman of God says, she came to my house and insulted me, condemning my marriage and proudly telling me she loves him in front of me, and my husband standing there said nothing. So the woman of God is telling us that Vanessa provoked her. Vanessa came into her house in front of her, telling her how much she loves her husband, and the husband sitting there said nothing. So what pains this woman is not the fact that Vanessa is dating her husband. It's definitely the fact that in front of you, a married woman, your husband's side chick is disrespecting you, and the man says nothing. He doesn't even defend you. Men have conscience. So some men cheat on their wife, but they have conscience. They have small respect for their wives. They'll be like, shut up, Vanessa. What are you saying? Leave my house immediately. Go out. First of all, what is she even doing in the house? So this is the woman's problem, the disrespect. That's what's hurting her. Not only are you cheating on, making my husband to cheat on me, not only are you taking away my husband's attention from me, you have the nerves to come into my house. You have the guts to come into my house and provoke me, confessing your undying love for my husband in front of me, and the man is not even saying nothing to like defend me. So the woman felt insulted. She felt offended. And then we're going to continue reading more of her message. And then she says, Daniel insulted me in the house because of that girl. Several times I have cried and bled because of this. So this is a woman who is constantly pained by the fact that she knows her husband's side chick. She can identify him. Some women think their husband is cheating. They don't know. And they will never even know. But her own case is different. Not only does she know the husband's side chick, she can identify her as a girl in the choir in their church. So it hurts her that every single time she has to see this girl in church, this girl has to sing in their choir every single time, and her husband is defending the girl. So she says the husband has been provoking her because of this girl, insulting her at home because of this girl. You know how Yemi Alade said this in her song, Johnny leave me follow Cynthia, and I don't know what to do, and he talks say I no do like the way Cynthia they do. So you know that kind of insult that you go somewhere and then you be with somebody else, you come back to your house and tell your wife, you know Sabi do like Cynthia they do. So these are the things that annoy this woman, the comparison, the insults, the disrespect. So that's why Grace is complaining today. Vanessa actually went to her house, according to her own story, to attack her. So point number 2, the woman of God. We're still talking about the woman's version. We're going to break it down later, you know, to say what we think about it. So now we are neutral. We're just reading it as it is. So point number 2, the woman of God says, so actually she came to my house that fateful night and was discussing with my husband in my presence, making mockery of me. I was in church holding mic to preach. This lady was making mockery of me, laughing, and my husband did nothing. Pay attention to the number of times she keeps talking about in front of my husband did nothing, in front of my husband did nothing. So if you decipher what is happening, if you read more into her writings, you're going to find out that what is hurting her is her husband's inaction. You cannot remain indifferent when somebody is hurting your wife. This is the woman you love. This is the mother of your kids. Like, what are you doing? So what is hurting her? What is burning her? It's the fact that Vanessa did all of this in front of her man and he said nothing to defend her. So that's the fact that explaining the woman of God. And then she says sometimes she's in church preaching and Vanessa is behind with her clique, with her cafeage, and they're laughing at the woman of God's message. You can imagine the pain. So if this girl if she's in front of church preaching, Vanessa is behind making mockery of her, all of this in front of her man, and he's doing nothing. So if you really read meaning into this, this is what has been hurting this woman for a long time. Not only does she know the husband's side, she can identify her, and unfortunately it's the lead singer of the choir. You cannot make dispose of her. She's definitely going to be under your nose every single day. So you can imagine the pain of this woman having to see the husband's side chick every single day in church. So it hurts her, it pains her, and I think she's been nursing evil in her heart for a long time now. She's been planning like, I have to do something to this girl, I have to stop this, and it's rather unfortunate. Anyway, let me continue reading. Let me not start giving commentaries now. So, and then she says, many a time she will call my husband and they will go out and will come back very late at night, yet I said nothing. Each time I want to talk to my husband about the matter, he will insult me because of her and say terrible things to me. So the woman of God is saying that the husband will just sit and Vanessa will call, where are you? Come and meet me. Oga will run and go and meet Vanessa. That's his side chick. So every time she calls, he's going to leave the house very excited, run to go and meet her, for some hot action, for some steamy action, or whatever it is they do. I don't know. So the woman is complaining that Vanessa has taken my husband's attention from me. He just lives like he lives on her beck and call. When they say a woman has a man wrapped around her little finger, like Vanessa just calls and the man start running and going to Vanessa like. So that's what hurts the woman. Like Vanessa has him all wrapped around her little finger. Every time she calls, the man will run to Vanessa, and then he will spend hours and hours and hours with her, and then come back home at night. When the woman tried to ask like, babe, where were you? Like, you just left the house, you didn't really tell me where you were going, you just dashed out and you were coming back like 8-10 hours later. What happened? Where were you? So this is what the woman of God is saying, and every time she tries to ask him a question, he'll end up insulting her. So you can imagine she's had a wound for a very long time now, and the man keeps adding salt to injury every single time. So the woman has been hurt for a while. So let's continue reading Prophetess Grace's message. She says, on that fateful day, here she explains what happened on that day where she burnt Vanessa. So this is her explanation. So the woman of God says, so while she was in the house, I went to the kitchen to boil water for the children. So according to the woman of God's story, the water she was boiling was not for Vanessa. She was not boiling it with evil intentions to burn Vanessa. This was water for her kids, maybe to make them tea, breakfast, or maybe to shower them with warm water. Maybe, there's so many things which a mother can do with warm water for her kids. So she continues saying, while I was coming outside, that's out of the kitchen or maybe out of the house, she too left the house and was coming towards me. So she turned behind and pushed the hot water on my hands. So this is the woman of God explaining the scenario, how it happened. So she was living with like hot water, assuming this is a cup of hot water. She held it to her body and Vanessa was coming towards her. And according to her story, Vanessa pushed her and the water poured on Vanessa. So she continues saying, as the water slipped off, it threw on her upper back and some of the water touched my feet and also splashed on my in-law's body who was standing next to us. I rushed inside the house to bring cold water. On return, she went down the stairs and told people I want to kill her. So this is the woman of God explaining to us how the scenario happened. She went to the kitchen, she got hot water, and then she was coming towards Vanessa and Vanessa was coming towards her. According to the story, Vanessa hit her and the water poured on Vanessa's body. So this is the thing. Let's analyze this. I'm holding hot water on my body. You're coming in front of me from the opposite direction. If you hit this hot water, it's going to burn both me and you. And how is the water going to burn me? Either on my tummy, on my chest, on my hands, or on my feet. But Vanessa's body was burnt like this. From like somebody poured water from her head. I'm going to put the picture here so you guys can see. So according to the burns Vanessa sustained, it is showing that the water burned her all over her face, her neck, her back. And you are saying that Vanessa hit you and the water poured on her. If Vanessa hit you, the water should... This is a cup of water. If I hit somebody like this, it's pouring down. It's not going to pour from my head, burning my back, my neck, and everything. So it was a well-calculated attempt. It makes no sense. Anyways, Vanessa has been hurting her for a long time, and she was nursing evil towards Vanessa. But the way this girl was burnt, it wasn't an accident. It was intentional. She had been planning it for a long time. And then the woman of God says, so since my husband loves the girl, He told me to leave his house. You can now see how the problem is the man. This is a cheating, lying man, a scum who will not respect his wife. Some men have side chicks, but they have consciences. They have respect for the woman, the mother of their kids. La mère de ses enfants. Some people have respect for their wives. So they'll go out and maybe cheat, which is still wrong. But at the end of the day, they protect their wives from all that drama, from all that brouhaha. He went and did his own and carried it. He followed him to the house. Now he's insulting the woman because of Vanessa, provoking the woman because of Vanessa. So this is the woman saying that the man even went to the extent of telling her, you have to leave my house, because maybe he was considering bringing Vanessa in as a new wife or whatever, I don't know. So the woman continues writing, yeah, we are legally married, we are signed, we have done traditional and church wedding. So they asked the woman of God, like, why, how do you say this man is your man? Are you guys legally married? And the woman said, yeah, we are married traditionally, civilly, that's legally, and again in the house of the Lord. So we've done everything, the 3 steps of marriage. So he is legally mine. When I call him my husband, he is mine. So that's the woman justifying what makes Prophet Daniel has. So the woman of God now says, I did all what she said because I thought she would see it and forgive me. I never knew she would use it to torment me and ridicule me publicly like this. She's not in the hospital. She's recovering faster and receiving treatments at home. So I went to her house to apologize for the pain she's going through, and that I never hurt her. I can never do such. But she can never listen, and rather she sent information to me for information. So this is what this woman is saying, that she went to apologize to Vanessa in the house. That Vanessa has left the hospital. She's actually stabilizing now. She is at home healing, you know, fast. She has a quick recovery, according to what the woman is saying. So she went to Vanessa's house to apologize, and Vanessa told her to apologize. Vanessa gave her particular words to write, and she wrote the words on social media, and Vanessa still went all the way to send information to Mimi Mefo to report the case. So the woman is not concerned about Vanessa being burned. She's not concerned about Vanessa's health. She's only concerned about the fact that Vanessa sent information to Mimi Mefo, and now her name is on everybody's mouth. So she's concerned about her reputation. She's concerned about people insulting her and castigating her on social media. That's what the case is about, at least to the woman's side. That's what she insinuates. She only cares about her image and the fact that people are talking about her. So the woman says, what I'm telling you right now is the truth, and God knows best. So I accept. She and my husband can go ahead and date. I don't mind anymore. Only God will expose the truth. So the woman is telling us that Vanessa has succeeded in taking her husband's attention from her. The husband doesn't touch her again as he used to do before. When they lay in bed at night, he doesn't have affection for her. He doesn't make love to her. That's the woman's first complaint. And the second complaint, the husband doesn't pray with her as much as he used to do before. So they're a couple, like, officially on name only. They climb on the pulpit and teach people as prophet and prophetess. But when they go to the house, there's not much to be said about romance in their union because of Vanessa. And as a matter of fact, the man is even threatening to leave her because of Vanessa. So that's what the woman is telling us today. And then she says she's just tired of the union. She's tired of everything. It's becoming like so draining. She cannot continue putting up appearances. She cannot continue pretending that everything is okay, climbing on the pulpit, preaching to the people of God when it's all a lie. So she's tired of everything. And according to her messages, she doesn't say she's going to leave the marriage, but she says she's tired and she wants everything to be over. And then the woman of God said she was in prison. While she was in prison, you know, Vanessa also asked for the woman to be in prison. Police officers came and picked up the woman, the Prophetess Grace. So while she was in jail, she says, I was in jail bleeding blood. I don't know what else people bleed. You can only bleed blood. So she said she was bleeding blood while sleeping in darkness with the other prisoners. And the other prisoners were all guys. She was the only lady amongst guys. So she says, I was the only lady in the midst of those boys there. Mosquitoes beat me. I slept on the floor. Oh, poor woman. I pity her. In the prison for days. So yet my husband was very comfortable sleeping in the house and eating well because me in prison never stressed him one bit. He was happy seeing me behind bars because he wanted to continue his relationship with his girlfriend. So I thank him for everything and the shame he has put me through. Only Yahweh will reward us. And this is where I really feel bad for the woman. Like, I felt the emotion in this particular message. Everything else she was writing, I was just like, okay, you're mad at him, but the person you should be talking to is your husband, not Vanessa. He's the one who promised you faithfulness. He's the one who promised you loyalty to death do you part. Vanessa was not part of that agreement. But when I read this particular message, it really hurt me. Some guys are evil. Some guys are devil. Your wife is locked up. When you hear somebody calls you to say your wife is locked up, the first thing you want to do is rush to jail to find out what's happening. Hey, honey, how you doing? What happened? How did this happen? How can we solve this? You're calling lawyers. You're calling people. You're talking to commissioners. You're trying to get her out of jail. Uga heard that his wife was locked up. He sat down. Oh my God. So I can really see how this woman is being pained, because she's married to the devil. He doesn't care. Not only is he a cheating man, he's very disrespectful. He doesn't even care about her feelings at all. You hear that your wife is being locked up, you don't run towards her. So this is enough reason for the woman to know the kind of man she's married to. And she's out here fighting Vanessa like, sis, don't you see you're channeling your insecurities, your war and everything? You're battling the wrong person. You are married to the wrong guy. It's not even about Vanessa. Vanessa's face is burnt right now. You think the guy is not going to move to some other side chick? You're battling the wrong person. You married the wrong guy. He doesn't have any conscience. I don't even know how he's a pastor. So he left her to sleep in jail alone. She was bleeding. She didn't have pads. She didn't have food. She didn't have nothing. You're a man of God. You're sitting at home when your wife is being arrested. Is this not evil? It's now church members and her own friends that had to buy 1 or 2 sanitary supplies for her, and with food and everything. This is just crazy. Now I feel for the woman. I can see where she's coming from, the pain and all that. But all of this does not justify the fact that you have to hurt somebody. You cannot pour water on somebody on account of a man who is cheating. The problem is the man, sis. How did you not see this? The problem is not Vanessa. And even as you've burned Vanessa and decapitated her face today, you think he's not going to move on to some other side chick? A cheating man is a cheating man. He's going to move on to other girls. The problem is not Vanessa or the next lady he's going to go to. The problem is him. He's the one who goes after all these ladies. I understand your pain, and this message really made me feel sorry for you. Like, nobody wants to be married to this kind of man. Nobody wants to go through all of this. So besides the WhatsApp messages, we have a few messages on Messenger. A couple of Cameroonians were inboxing this woman like, why did you do that? Why did you have to attack Vanessa like that with boiling water? You're a wicked person. You're a very insecure somebody. So let's read the message. One Facebook user wrote the woman of God, Prophetess Grace, and then she was attacking the woman like, you are very insecure. For attacking Vanessa like that, you must be a very insecure woman. To which Prophetess Grace responded, and Grace said, ha ha ha, we call that protective. And then Grace continues writing, since you don't know English, let me help you. So according to Grace, pouring hot water on Vanessa was being protective. So according to her, she's being protective. That's how she's going to protect her union. That's how she's going to protect her marriage. So that made me think twice like, okay, sis, you are out here claiming that it was an accident. Vanessa hit you with water. The water poured on you. It poured on her. It poured on your in-law. And then on one hand, you're telling us that's called being protective. Don't you see how you're the one now selling yourself out? You're giving one version of the story out, and you're giving another version of the story out. If you said that was being protective, it means it was premeditated, it was intentional. You had planned to pour this water on Vanessa's body. So you had orchestrated the whole thing in your mind for a long time now. You've been planning it for a long time, and you finally poured the water on her. So you're telling us it was an accident. On the other hand, you're telling us it's called being protective. Okay. So you go finally tell us the truth. You never talk. You will soon talk, because the case is going to court in a couple of weeks, I think. They got a lawyer. They're going to find a day in court, and the case is going to go to court. So this is the woman of God telling us that she's trying to defend herself. She's trying to defend her name. She's trying to save face. She said that Vanessa sent the story to Mimi Mayfor. It was all a lie. According to the woman of God's version, the water was like this. She was holding hot water. Vanessa hit her with the water. It poured on her. It poured on Vanessa. It poured on her in-law. But where are the pictures? Where is the evidence? Because if there's a criminal case against me that I can potentially end up in jail, you best believe I'm bringing all the evidence I have. If the water poured on you, it must have burnt you a little bit. If it poured on your in-law, as you said, it must have burned the in-law a little bit. If it poured on Vanessa, why is Vanessa the only one who is hurt here? So if you have evidence that the water poured on you must have burnt you a little bit, show the pictures of the part it burned so we can believe you. If the water poured on your in-law, where is the in-law? So there's actually a witness to this case. So where is the witness? So all these things should have been your evidence. You're out here giving us empty stories and people are believing you. I don't believe that. If she has evidence, she should bring the evidence. Then we are going to believe her. But as at now, I think it was premeditated. She had planned to pour this water on Vanessa. If it was an accident, it would burn Vanessa around here, around her hand, and around her feet. But the water was all over on her face, on her hair, on her back, on her neck. It was premeditated. It was not an accident. She planned it and she executed it. So that's it. And the woman is out here telling us it's called being protective. So pouring water on Vanessa has been protective. Okay, this Facebook user have leaked your story. So this is the reason why you did it, to be protective. This is the lamest form of protectiveness I've seen in a long time. This is the lamest and the wackest form of protectiveness I have seen in a while. Because you cannot protect a cheating man from cheating. Haters gonna hate, cheaters gotta cheat. There's only one thing cheaters know how to do: cheat. That's their duty. It's in their DNA. You cannot, by fighting ladies, stop a cheater. You cannot stop a cheater. He's always going to do what he wants to do. Because right now, Vanessa is healing. Her face is, burnt. Her body is wounded and all that. But the man, Daniel, is going to move on to some other side chick. So don't you see that the person you were doing all of this for is not worth it? It's not worth it. You are attacking girls out here because of Daniel. You've poured water on Vanessa because of Daniel. And according to you, are being protective of your man, protective of a marriage. But you are in jail today. Where is the Daniel? Where is the guy you were fighting for? Don't you now see it wasn't worth it? In hindsight, like when you look behind at your actions on that 25th of December, don't you now discover it wasn't worth it? You're fighting for a man who doesn't love you. You're fighting for a man who doesn't respect you. You are in jail. You are incarcerated. He doesn't even pass to see you. He has not even passed to ask you, oh my God, baby, what happened? Why are you in jail? Oh my God, calm down. We're going to fix this. I have it under control. I'm going to call a lawyer. I'm going to call a state council. I'm going to call whoever I know. We're trying to fix this. We're going to try to fix this. Don't worry. We're going to try to get you out of jail. As a concerned man, that's what you should have done. Rush to jail to talk to your woman. You haven't talked to her. You haven't gone to jail to visit her. So, Prophetess Grace, don't you now see you did all of this for nothing? You have become a criminal for nothing. You're in jail for nothing. And if your life is damaged, if your life is ruined, it's all for nothing. If you get a long term of jail sentence, for attempted murder, it's all for nothing. It wasn't worth it. It's not like Daniel is going to be visiting you in jail every day. He's going to be taking care of you, sending you food supplies and, sanitary supplies. He doesn't care. So it was all for nothing. It wasn't worth it. And this is what I'm saying. Women should be wise. 21st century women should be wise. I don't see any reason why we are fighting ourselves over men. If he wants to cheat, he's still going to cheat. You have burned Vanessa. Now, how many other side chicks will you burn? He's going to move on to the next, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. It was not worth it at all. Today, you're the one in jail. Today, the one has become a criminal. And he's at home, probably talking to the next side chick. It's just really unfortunate to see what this woman is going through. For a man who doesn't even love her, who doesn't care about her, who doesn't respect her. So, Prophetess Grace, as you are in jail today, whatever happens when the case goes in court, because Vanessa's family has taken a lawyer, obviously they're going to they're building up a case against the man with all the evidence they have so far. They're building up a case against Prophetess Grace. And, definitely they're going to set a date in court. Why is my face itching? Definitely, they're going to set a date in court where Prophetess Grace will appear, to defend herself. She's the defendant in this case, obviously, and then, somebody else is the plaintiff. Vanessa will be the plaintiff. So, when the case goes to court, I'm going to come back to give you guys updates on the case as it unfolds. But for now, I want women to be smart. Don't go and become a criminal over a man who doesn't care. It's not worth it, my sister. If it's not working, pack your things and leave. So all along, Prophetess Grace has been fighting Vanessa, but sis, don't you now see that's the wrong person? You've been attacking the wrong person all along. The criminal here is Daniel. The culprit all along was Daniel. You left the devil in your house to go fight side chicks. It's really unfortunate. You left the person right in front of you who is hurting you. The one who is causing you all this pain is Daniel. You left him to go attack Vanessa. Now you are in jail suffering and he's at home relaxing. He doesn't even care about you. So women should be smart. Do not become criminals over men who don't care about you. We should all be smart. All right, so this is the update of the case I wanted to bring to you guys. So far, this is what is happening. The woman of God is out here saying that it was an accident. Vanessa attacked her with the water. Vanessa hit her. The water poured on her. Water poured on Vanessa. Water poured on the in-law bed. We have not seen any evidence. Only hears. Only talk. No evidence. No proof. Nothing whatsoever. So you guys, let me know what you think about the woman of God's version of the story so far. I definitely see a pained woman. A woman who is angry. A woman who is frustrated. A woman who is bitter because she married a disrespectful man. He doesn't love her. She doesn't mean anything to him. Actually, if I'm Grace, I'll be sitting in jail like, wow, of all the men that wanted to marry me, I picked the worst one. I picked a man whom I thought was a pastor, and then look at what he has done to me. I'm in jail. He hasn't even visited me. He doesn't even care. He hasn't even cared what I've eaten for days now. I really picked the wrong one. If I'm Grace, I'll be thinking in jail, like, as soon as I leave this jail, I'm leaving that man. I'm leaving, like, I'm not even going to that house. I'm just going somewhere else. I'll call my family to go take my kids and meet me somewhere else. I start a new life. I don't need that negativity. He doesn't love you. He doesn't pass in jail for days to check on you. Really? That's the man you were fighting for? Because the man is just trying to let you know, like, Grace, to me, you're dead. You mean nothing to me. You're not important to me. I don't care about you. That's all he's telling you, period. By him ignoring you this way, he's just telling you that I don't care about you. To me, you're dead. To me, you're gone. You mean nothing to me. It means even if he had the way to terminate you, he would have terminated you to continue his life with Vanessa and his other side chicks. If he had a way to erase you from the surface of the earth, he would have erased you. That's the message he's giving you today. I don't care about you. You don't exist to me. I don't love you. I don't even care whether you're alive or gone. That's a clear message he's giving you. So if I were you, Grace, I will not mind. I'll serve my jail sentence. If I have 5 years or 10 years to serve or whatever fine, I'll pay my fine and serve my sentence. As soon as I leave jail, I go somewhere else and start a new life. Daniel does not deserve you, and he doesn't deserve Vanessa as well. If I'm Vanessa, equally, I'm going to learn sense, because a man will send his wife away for you, will send you out tomorrow for somebody else, will send out somebody else out for some other person. So that's the kind of person who Daniel is. He's a cheat. So Grace, you don't deserve Daniel. Vanessa, you equally don't deserve Daniel. He stood there and watched his wife burn you with hot water. He has not visited you. He's not taking care of you as well. I can assume, I can presume. I don't know that part of the story. So he doesn't deserve any of you ladies. You guys definitely should not be fighting over him. All right, so I thought to bring you guys update to this case. That's what's happening today. The woman of God is insisting there was an accident, that Vanessa hit the water, it poured on her, poured on Vanessa. We have not seen any evidence. So what will you guys do if you're in the woman of God's place? What would you do if you're in Vanessa's place? And what would you do if you're in Prophet Daniel's place? So this is what's happening today, and I thought to bring you guys the updates, the woman of God's version to the story. Do you guys believe her? Do you believe it was an accident? Do you guys believe that that's what happened, or do you think it was all planned, it was all premeditated? Let me know what you think about this case in the comment section below. I'm definitely going to bring you guys updates as the case unfolds. So thank you guys a lot for watching. I remain your girl Onana. If it is your first time on this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. You definitely love it here. And to my amazing subscribers, I want to say thank you. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys for all the love and support. So I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, everyone. See you in my next video. Leave me comments below what you think about this topic. Leave me comments in the comment section. Like the video and share with your friends. I love you guys. Stay safe, everyone. See you next time. Goodbye.